Good morning, everybody. Today I'm drinking from a black cup because it's Monday. So, wait, it's Tuesday. What freaking day is it? Anyway, it's Tuesday. I am off again today for the protests. Look, I'll be honest with you. I did it 4 days last week, and by Friday, your boy's body was about done. We're easily walking, and people at the protests are easily walking 5 miles. I'm doing extra. I was averaging about 9 miles a day. So after 4 days in a row of that, yeah. So it's taken me a little bit extra time to heal up. Look, it's real out here. It's not easy, and there's people that are there. Granted, they're the administration, so they are under a tent and in the shade, and their fatigue levels are being spent in different ways. But they are there every day, which is still just amazing to me. So shout out to the people protesting, the folks that are there every day. Just amazing. So subject today is, once again, artificial intelligence and how it is being used to shape and ultimately perpetuate the system or the status quo. I almost said systemic racism, which that's the status quo. I got an interesting email. It was actually a DM on LinkedIn, but whenever I get a direct message on LinkedIn, I count as an email. And I just wanted to raise awareness about this. It's so funny. Like, this is why AI will not work, okay? Because the system is broken, all right? Whether you like it or not, whether you're a beneficiary of it or not, you have to know that it only benefits people who have everything set up, basically. If you've got your college degree and or you were some brilliant person who didn't need a college degree in order to kind of sustain yourself, or like anybody who may have gotten a blue collar job, tradesman, factory worker, things of that nature. Okay, those types of people who've maybe been working every day since they got out of high school. All right, again, I wish I would have made that decision, but I had a different mindset on things. If you have good credit and you have equity, meaning like you own things, you have assets, this is the only type of people that the system actually, that can use this system, okay? If you have no credit, if you don't really have any assets, you are SOL. And then, God forbid, you catch a charge because of, by the way, being poor, all right? A lot of times people that are of lesser income have to do things that might not even, that are maybe illegal in order to get any type of sustenance. It happens. It's a real dynamic of the first world. No, we shouldn't justify social deviance, but it's not black and white. It's not cut and dry, okay? Don't judge. You don't know what that person has been through. What if that person is a falsely convicted, what if they have a felony and they were completely innocent of it and they're falsely convicted? What if it's a violent felony, right? And they didn't do it. And now they can't get a job at all. You see, employers, well, we hire felons. They hire felons that are typically like white collar offenders, or drug dealer, ex-drug dealers might be counted in that quota, and it is a quota. Their corporations are kind of like getting a government benefit by hiring felons. So how are they going to fill that quota? Again, it's all about exploits in this society. How do they fill that quota? Well, they do hire some felons, but they will never hire a felon who's done something that might have violence involved, which, I mean, fair enough, right? Nobody really wants to work next to some guy who's got some violent past. That's entirely normal to feel that way as a person. Problem is, what about the innocent guy who got screwed by the law? Whether you like it or not, that really happens. You don't know the half of it, I promise you, if you're shaking your head at that last point. So this brings me to my point. I did not graduate college. No, I'm not one of those brilliant people that I mentioned earlier that found a way to sustain themselves without a college degree. I'm more of a fly by the seat of my pants type of guy, and I'm very blessed and lucky. Let's talk about my type of person, okay? I do not have a college degree. I've got 7 years of college under my belt. Oh, there's a whole story behind it, trust me. I'm very well educated in up to about the 180 level in all the courses. Once you get to that 200 level, all of a sudden my transcript kind of drops. There's not too many of those classes on the record. I changed majors a lot. And that's, by the way, why I chose to be an actor. I was like, man, you know what's interesting about all of this is that I could actually be an actor with this skill set. So we tried it. But be that as it may, I get an email today on LinkedIn, and it says, judging by your profile and your experience in journalism, you could qualify for the master's program in journalism at fill in the blank university. I didn't even. So I went ahead and applied because I've actually, funny story, qualified for a master's program for a business college as well. It was a major one. I'm not going to name it, but it was like something else. It wasn't a LinkedIn. I legit just tried for some reason one day to sign up for a master's course. I was desperate. Tried to slide through. I was in college for 7 years. Didn't work. But the funny thing is that I made it through like half of the application process. The college was getting ready to send me admission letters, and then they're like, wait, you don't have a bachelor's degree? I was like, no. But I have like more credit hours than a bachelor's degree. Is that any good? No? Okay. So I just wanted to bring this up because this message today was sent by an artificial intelligence bot. This bot, now they have coded these things in this case to try and help, which is cool. But if you're going to implement artificial intelligence as your recruitment tool, guess what you're gonna miss? You're gonna miss all of the outside the box creatives who might not have this perfect left-brained pathway of life. You are basically, there's people like me that slip between all of the cracks. This is why artificial intelligence is really bad, because it's only going to benefit people who are like completely with the system. And by the way, you saw that with the economic stimulus. I mean, this is a completely different subject, but I didn't even get a stimulus check. I got one. I think they sent out 3. I got one economic stimulus check for $1,200, and it was like December of 2020, okay? I never even got it anywhere close to on time. Reason was because I was a gig worker and didn't have a lot of taxes in the system. I was a part-time Uber driver and a gig worker and a poker player when the pandemic hit. And the year up to that, I was pretty broke the whole time. So like, I just wasn't in the system. It's not like Trump, he did do all that shit on purpose, but I'm trying to say, like, it's not like someone looked at me and was like, no, screw that guy. It was more just like I wasn't in the system flat out. My name didn't pop up on paying too much in taxes. I pay my taxes, but it's not a lot. And, my name just kind of slipped through the cracks when it came to everything. Reason I do believe that Trump did do it on purpose to a demographic of people, not like he was doing it to me personally, was because as soon as Biden got in office, all of a sudden all my pandemic aid stuff hit all at once. So Trump was definitely holding that stuff back. And it was an elite cash grab, just the whole nine. You all don't even understand the moves that they did. Some of you probably do, but I mean, week one, okay? Now, I qualified for the EIDL and the PPP, okay? I was technically a business owner as an Uber driver in Las Vegas, Uber and Lyft. You have to have a business license to be a driver in Las Vegas, okay? So I was actually a business owner as well as sole proprietor or whatever, gig worker, self-employed, all right? So technically I qualified and I applied rightfully. And week one, I got a Facebook network that's pretty strong with a lot of business people and entertainment industry people. And week one, there was a business owner that posted on Facebook, this was like March of 2020, may have been like April. He says, I just got my EIDL. It was literally 1 week after they announced it. And this is like a rich guy business owner, okay? He's like, I just got my EIDL for, he said the number. It was like 1.1 million. And then if you remember, business owners got a $100,000 grant just for applying. Yes, that's real. And I got nothing. I was a business owner. I applied. You're supposed to get a grant just for applying, not even if you get accepted. So why didn't I get a grant? They got a $100,000 grant just for applying. And the way that Trump justified that as well, we're giving this money to them, but they have to use it for their business. They have to use it as employee wages. It's not their money. But dude, you understand these are entrepreneurs, right? Their literal job is to turn revenue and any type of income into a widget that ends up creating money for them. That's what an entrepreneur does. So all they did with this $1 million that you gave them for free for employees, they legitimately just turned that into a widget for themselves. Whenever an employee is clocked in for a company, they are producing revenue for that company. So you literally gave these companies $1 million worth of employee widgets and inventory widgets, which all result in profit for the entrepreneur on the back end. Are you starting to see this? So if you give an entrepreneur $1 million, they'll typically be able to turn that, if they're a good business person, into $8 million. On top of that, all of our dumbasses were purchasing Bitcoin, trying to get our little free government money, some leverage. And who was at the top of the Bitcoin? The same people. The bigwigs. When Elon Musk pulled out of Bitcoin, it dropped 10% gross. That's how much Bitcoin Elon Musk had. And he did a whole pump and dump. Elon Musk, he put in a ton of money. Literally. Like if you weighed it, it would be more than a ton. That's how much money Elon Musk put in. And it was so substantial that when he pulled out, Bitcoin dropped. I remember the day. And I was watching for it to happen too. I knew it was going to happen. They waited till it got up to about 60,000. And that's when it happened. I told everybody, by the way. If you didn't listen, I'm sorry. You did have your chance to hit lick. I tried to help. Oh, and by the way, when I said that, I got screamed at by one of these wannabe poker celebrities. Why are you making light of the fact that people lost money? I've been warning you for 4 years. You just met me 2 months ago at a freaking bar where we were there supporting a buddy stand-up comedy show. You've known me for 2 months. I've been talking about this for years. I'm making light of it because I was actually like, she didn't know me, it's okay. I wasn't the only one who kind of like snickered a little bit when it happened. You know who you are, others who called it. And then just kind of felt like, told you so. Look, that's a natural human reaction too. We're not perfect. But getting back to this, artificial intelligence being used for employment recruitment, you know, the system has literally failed my generation. It's failed many, but like our generation is completely screwed by it, okay? Just completely. And so like if you try to hire using artificial intelligence that has a specific set of standards for hiring, you're taking out any of the abstract thinking involved that a human could do, that could look at a person like me, for example, and be like, man, yeah, you qualify for, even though I would never qualify for a master's program, by the way. Like, I don't have a bachelor's degree, can't do it, right? But just hypothetically speaking, what if somebody was like, wow, you know what? You got 160 credit hours. You know, if you do these things, maybe you could do X, Y, Z, and then, yeah, you could qualify for the master's program, you know? Like, there's abstract things that people, when people are in places of administration, they can make these things happen. I mean, you see it all the time when we pay bills, you know? Like, you can't tell a computer, hey, I got in a car wreck and I've lost a lot of money because of it, and so I can't pay my phone bill on time. I owe you $100. Can I give you 25 right now and then 75 next week? You can't tell the computer that. The computer will just like, that's an error message, and then they just shut off your phone. Whereas if you tell that to a human, they might be like, well, hold on, I can't do that on my end, but hold up, I got you. Let me call my supervisor real quick. Okay, the supervisor said we can work with you. Can you actually do 40 today? He said we can do it if you can give us 40. That's just $15 more than you said you can do. Are you able to do that? You see, you would never have a conversation like this with a computer, okay? The solution is not being lazy. This is what this is. These people want to not have to lift a finger from Mars, by the way. They want to just make everything automated so they don't have to do anything. They can sit at home. And instead of, this is the problem, we haven't fixed the system. Now you want to code an artificial intelligence computer to run the shit based off the shit status quo that we have, written by white supremacists and otherwise elitists who hate us. This is what you're allowing to do. No, we have to fix our society. We have to fix the system. You've done nothing but, once again, kick the can down the road. And all you've done is disclaim the blame. That's all you're trying to do. Equality, that's what you're doing, this is not equity. Do you see now? You see this artificial intelligence, the way that it's operating is the equality brainwash, okay? Equity is where each person gets what they need, all right? Equality is, hey, we've got a hiring practice across this, across the board, artificial intelligence, it's equal for everybody. Well, no, it's not, because there's people that are going to entirely slip between the cracks. Do you see how that works now? I saw a great meme, and just to illustrate this one last time for you, you've got three men. You got a tall man, a middle height man, and a short man. And there's a big old privacy fence, and they all need to see over it in order to obtain a goal. Equality is each man gets the same size box to stand on, okay? So you give this size box to all three of the men. The tall man, easily, that's all he needed to see above the fence. Well, the middle man can't see above the fence. And the short man damn sure can't see above the fence. Equity, which is what I was trying to describe, tall man, right? He needs a box about this big to see over the fence. Rich people. Middle man, he needs a box about this big to see over the fence, at the same height as the tall man. Middle class. Short. The short man needs a big box to be able to stand and see at the same level as the rich man and the middle man, right? Lower class income. That's equity.